I'm labeled as a black man or African American man in our present society in North America. And growing up in that type of atmosphere and environment, when it comes to dating, has been a climactic experience to me. I plan to divulge a bit of my existence and experience when it comes to dating in this environment. This is the foundation for Elevation Station. Excuse me. My name is Leon Meredith, and I was abused on many forms when it comes to dating. I was married 18 years, with a lot of that time being off and on. Mostly on. Even when it was off, it was on, if you can feel me. I guess you could define it as a situationship, hybrid. Many times in my life, I was hit physically and abused by women. I would always take it in a playful manner and like push the lady out the way as you would push a kid, or hold them and play with them while they were physically assaulting me. And because it only hurted a small percentage to me, I never took it seriously of the physical assaults that I have taken over my life from maybe 10 women, 11, 12. To look back on it is very traumatic, but the physical assaults that I have received from these women in my life, which I haven't dealt with many women in my life. Most women, it was for prolonged experiences, even if it was just purely intimate wise. It was for 6-8 months with the same ladies. I didn't live a life of continuously switching even my intimate partners, because I just thought intimacy and connection with another human being was precious to me. Now I know the deeper meaning that I have felt on my life, and I can put it into words. You want to see the other person advance. You want to advance and develop with the person. I do. I want us both to move along a course of elevation, evolution, development as we build the bond and connection between us. This is what I feel it is intended for. Yes, I believe that finances or building this and that is important, but it's a collective of purpose that comes with connecting with a mate, a helpmate, and making a family with these people. But often when I was connecting with ladies and was abused physically, I also was abused emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And this by far was the most damaging. In this date of time, many women I have dealt with use their voice and emotions to abuse me. They would scream and holler or have orchestrated, arguments in a manipulatory type of way to damage, to get their way. And in the midst of that, lies and deceit were all encompassed in their assault. This is why, I chose not to, date in the traditional manner for so many years of my life. Even when I was single, I just chose to, only date women that fit certain criterias. But one of the chief criterias is that of an open, giving heart as mine, because I refuse for a lady to take advantage of me. Many ladies take advantage of men because somehow our society has moved the exchange of intimacy to be something that is like what a woman will bring, and this is her portion to fueling the connection or relationship or marriage. So if I can bring intimacy, you bring the money, you bring how you cater to me, you bring the entertainment. And a lot of times, I was hard in my stance to not allow a lady to use me in that manner. It was always offensive to me because of my promiscuity when I was 14, 15, 16, and having the sexual experiences that fueled my knowledge of what females desire. I learned to be quite effective in pleasuring, and I learned the value that I bring and how valuable it was for ladies. And I would see ladies that were in relationships and would come to me and come to get a great experience, a great feeling that was to an elevated place. And I would ask ladies how they feel like when they were rising to the occasion, like climaxing and multiple, not being too graphic, orgasms, multiple acts where they would have them for 3 and 5 minutes as we weren't even touching. They was, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. Only thing I want to say is that women enjoy the experience more than I do. And it was like I was giving, and I would enjoy pleasuring, but it was like in my mind I was giving, and for me to give all these other things also was unfair to me. So I chose to just engage and have this experience, intimate experience, and that was it. Like, we're not going to, allow you to, manipulate the whole situation where it was, I'm putting so much effort into our interaction. And it's an unfair scale when it comes to all the finances and the fortification of her life. I seen so many men get on the losing side when you get into these relationships in my community, and it's a long-standing notion that a woman wastes her best years of her life for a man, and supposedly the man used her, when intimacy is a shared experience. No one gets this or that from the other one, but financially, I see men always on the losing side, whether it comes from just marriage or divorce. Financially, resources, men were less than after meeting a woman, and I just thought that was a situation that I wouldn't feel, I wouldn't want to experience. So that's another reason I just declined to date a woman that things were unclear, and that women would try to say a man's supposed to do this and a man's supposed to do that as traditional wise, but she was dating 3 and 4 men, and men were like, I would see that I could not receive much from a lady. It's some ladies I would date even recently where I would meet them and she would say, "Oh, this is a man supposed to do," and I would take her on a date. I would go to her house and even engage in, coming over. Like, hey, you might have to cleanse your house, certain parts of the house. Hey, let me, help you straighten up. But the type of energy wasn't reciprocated. I thought that this was, unfair. When it comes to dating and showing the ability to reciprocate the energy in ladies. I just think that I would never advise a young man to give to a woman that isn't showing the initiative to love you in the same way you're loving her, just simply as a human being. That does not mean go below your standards of what you like in a woman or what you like in a man, because my standards are what they are. So if a woman is just like her outward appearance or whatever it might be, her spirit is not up to my standard, I'm not gonna just bow down and date you because you're helpful. Like, I would just wait on until I get to a certain level and have a lady that fulfills the certain criteria. Like, it's no reason to date and be with people that you quite clearly understand that this person could never be the one. Why date this person? I think this happens too much with our ladies nowadays. This is why, if a lady is dating multiple men and stuff like this, no, I'm not going to be one of 3 or 4 or 5 men like, oh, I could treat you better. Here, I could treat you better. I could date you. Here you go. I treat you nice. And, I'm fighting for her attention and waiting for her to choose. And I'm giving you gifts and taking you play. I can't even, for me, I would view myself as just not the strongest of men if I did something like that. It's just not. No, I think, and that's a mindset I still carry from the 50s and 60s. If a man valued a woman, she wasn't dating. She would cook the man meals. She would, call him and go on dates and show him how great she could love, how much femininity she exuded. Because she didn't date multiple dudes, or, now it's like so much sneaking around, and they got a whole nother avenue to date so many men, and she could be an escort at night, all from her phone, and you never have a clue nowadays. But back then, men gave women because they were pure. They hadn't been ran through. They didn't have any children. They, now it's like different. And I think that things must be equal out. It's very hard for a real solid progressive man that's building, as myself, to exactly take a woman and put her in this old traditional wife mode in my mind. Like she is this, and I'm gonna date her, and I'm gonna treat her like she's a traditional woman of purity, still fertile, able to have children, and she's kind and she's feminine. Like today's woman just is much different. The way she talks, the vibration, the tone of her voice, the things that she does, does it? I ask you, does it measure up to that traditional woman that doesn't have anyone, that is pure, that has no children, that has beauty, that has femininity? Like you see it all, the beauty, not a woman looking at a woman beauty, but a man looking at a woman beauty. Like, okay, yeah, she's yeah. Because a lot of women look to women and think that, oh yeah, girl, you look good. But to men, it's not men that are looking, not men that are married and that are accommodationalists. I'm talking about real men. And I ain't saying men that's married or, they just say things to make women feel good. Because we got a whole lot of those men. I'm talking about manly men, that's out searching, that really has a selection of women they can choose. The way that we view beauty in women is different than, guys that have trouble getting ladies. Well, that's my view of the dating scene right now. And I think many things need to be shifted and changed. We can't have the old rules for ladies and then have the ladies morphing it to what it is today. I'm not gonna, put myself in that situation. And it's making more and more of our successful men, black men in the community, become passport brothers. Where they go to these other countries and get feminine, beautiful women and, and choose a wife. Our community must change when it comes to relationships and dating. Because in the black community, only 29% of women have been married, while 36% of men are being married. So it's a 7% difference. Black men are more willing to be married than women. So I think those percentages and truths within percentages tell a lot. Maybe our women need to get their heart together and get back with their child's fathers. I think that should be a movement. And I want to say I love you. And I thank you for attending. This went way longer than I envisioned. Just my view of my dating life and what's going on today. Let's change. I love you. Peace.